Imagine waking up to the sound of engines roaring across your peaceful private lake, only to find a horde of self-righteous HOA busybodies hammering stakes into your shoreline like they own the place. But what if the real shock came when their grand community enhancement plan crumbled, literally, under the weight of their own arrogance? Buckle up, because this tale of entitlement gone wild will have you clenching your fists 1 minute and smirking the next as justice sneaks in like a slow dawning sunrise. In the sleepy suburbs of Evergreen Ridge, Oregon, where manicured lawns hid simmering resentments and every cul-de-sac felt like a pressure cooker of petty rules, lived Alex Rivera. Alex wasn't the type to stir the pot. Hell, most neighbors barely knew he existed beyond the occasional wave from his porch. A quiet software engineer in his mid-40s, he'd inherited the cozy lakeside home from his late aunt, a spitfire of a woman who'd fought tooth and nail to keep the property untouched by the encroaching McMansions. The lake, a pristine, 2-acre gem nestled behind his backyard, wasn't just water. It was a sanctuary, complete with ancient oaks dipping their roots into the shallows and ducks that seemed to know his routine better than he did. But in a neighborhood governed by the Ironwood Homeowners Association, peace was as fragile as a no-parking sign in a windstorm. Alex sipped his black coffee that crisp autumn morning, the steam curling up like whispers from the lake's glassy surface. The air smelled of damp earth and pine, the kind of scent that made you forget the world beyond the fence. Then, a distant rumble shattered it. Tires crunching gravel, voices barking orders. He set his mug down, eyebrows knitting as he peered through the blinds. SUVs lined the access road to his lake, hazard lights flashing like they were announcing a parade. People in matching vests emblazoned with Ironwood HOA, building better communities, spilled out, toting clipboards, stakes, and what looked like a rolled-up map straight out of a bad real estate infomercial. By the time Alex threw on a jacket and trudged down the path, the scene was unfolding like a farce. A woman with a severe bob haircut and a name tag reading Karen Whitaker, HOA president, directed the chaos, her voice slicing through the air like a power tool. Mark that boundary right there. Folks, we're turning this underutilized eyesore into a premium amenity. She waved her arms with the enthusiasm of someone who just discovered democracy meant voting on other people's stuff. Alex cleared his throat, stepping into the clearing. Excuse me, but this is private property. My property. What's going on here? Karen spun around, her smile as plastic as a lawn ornament. Oh, hello there. You must be the reclusive neighbor we've heard about. We're from Ironwood HOA, conducting a shoreline survey for our new community dock project. It's all in the spirit of unity and progress. Unity, Alex echoed, his voice steady but laced with that edge of disbelief you get when someone tells you the sky's green. He glanced at the orange stakes already piercing his soil like acupuncture needles gone wrong. This lake's been in my family for decades. Deeds clear, water rights, lake bed, the whole 9 yards. You can't just waltz in here. One of the volunteers, a burly guy with a mustache that screamed, "Weekend Warrior," chuckled under his breath. Buddy, the board voted on this. Overwhelming support. Modern needs trump old papers. You know? Karen nodded vigorously, unfolding a glossy map with lines so straight they looked drawn by a robot on caffeine. Exactly. Our updated guidelines show this as shared access. Think of the barbecues, the kayaking. It's for the greater good. Alex felt a flicker of irritation, but he kept it cool, pulling out his phone to snap photos. He'd heard the rumors, the whispers at the mailbox about how he was hoarding the lake, how his antisocial vibes were dragging down property values. But this was next-level delusion. Greater good doesn't include trespassing. I've got the original county deed right here in my files. You might want to check your guidelines against actual law. Karen's eyes narrowed, but her tone stayed syrupy sweet, the kind that masks venom. Well, if you have concerns, you're welcome to attend our next meeting. But today, we're just surveying. Non-invasive, really. Won't affect your solitude at all. As the volunteers hammered away, Alex retreated to his house, his mind racing. He dug out the old binder from the attic, yellowed pages, embossed seals, his aunt's signature bold as brass. No shared access, no recreational zones. Just pure, unadulterated ownership. But as he pored over it, the doubt crept in. Why were they so bold? Had they really convinced themselves, or worse, the county, that his lake was fair game? Little did he know. This was just the opening act in a comedy of errors where the punchlines hit like sucker punches. The next day dawned with more than birdsong. Alex woke to the growl of heavy machinery, the kind that vibrates through your bones. He bolted outside, coffee forgotten, to find a barge. Yes, a goddamn floating construction platform, chugging across his lake like it was a public pool. Workers in hard hats lowered pontoons with cranes, splashing water that sent ripples lapping angrily at the shore. The air reeked of diesel, and a murky film already skimmed the surface where fish used to dart carefree. Karen was there again, clipboard in hand, directing like a traffic cop on steroids. Faster on those anchors. We need this floating pavilion up by week's end. Think yoga sessions at sunrise. Community mixers. Alex marched down, his boots sinking into the softened earth. What the hell is this? You didn't even wait for a discussion. She turned, feigning surprise. Oh, Mr. Rivera, good morning. This is phase 1 of our enhancement. The board approved it unanimously. It's going to boost everyone's property values, even yours, by polluting my lake, destroying the ecosystem. Alex pointed at a dead frog bobbing near the edge, its tiny body a casualty of the churned silt. This is illegal. I've called the county already. Your permit is under review. But you sure as hell don't have my permission. A worker paused, wiping sweat from his brow. Lady, we got the go-ahead from Ironwood. GPS says this is community water. Karen beamed. See? Progress. If older deeds don't align with today's needs, we adapt. Repurposing underutilized resources for the collective benefit. Alex's jaw tightened. Repurposing? That's code for theft. And that map of yours, it's a joke. No stamps. No surveys. Just fancy graphics to bully people. Her smile faltered for a split second, replaced by a condescending tilt of the head. Mr. Rivera, we're not bullies. We're stewards of harmony. If you interfere, we'll have to note it in our logs. Could lead to fines, for obstructing community welfare. He snapped more photos, capturing the barge's serial number, the oil slick spreading like gossip. Neighbors peeked from afar, some filming on their phones, whispering about the crazy hermit versus the visionary president. Rumors flew. Alex was a miser, hoarding nature like a dragon with gold. But inside, he seethed with a quiet fury, documenting every violation. He knew yelling wouldn't win, evidence would. That night, as the construction lights flickered across the water like mocking eyes, Alex pored over old engineering plans. His aunt had installed a hidden drainage valve decades ago, for flood control, perfectly legal. It was rusty, forgotten, but functional. He didn't touch it yet. Patience was his weapon. But the whispers grew louder. HOA newsletters painted him as the villain, resisting unity for selfish solitude. The invasion escalated, turning the once serene lake into a war zone of absurdity. By day 3, the platform had grown, a sprawling eyesore of metal and wood, promising exclusive events that screamed exclusion for anyone not paying HOA dues. Diesel fumes hung thick, birds fled in droves, and the water turned a sickly brown. Alex's calls to environmental services yielded the same drone. Permit pending review. Refrain from interference. Karen hosted a progress update meeting on the half-built deck, inviting residents to gawk. "Friends," she proclaimed, megaphone in hand. "This is democracy in action. No more wasted potential thanks to our forward-thinking board." A smattering of applause. But Alex overheard grumbles. Does he really own it all? Why's she so pushy? He attended the meeting uninvited, binder in tow. "This is trespassing," he announced calmly. "Your structure's causing damage, runoff, wildlife disruption." "I've got proof." Karen's eyes flashed. "Mr. Rivera, this is a closed session. Your input is noted, but outdated claims won't halt progress. We're enhancing lives here," a resident piped up. "But if he owns the lake, shouldn't we ask?" She waved it off. "Nonsense. Community needs evolve. Older folks sometimes cling to the past. It's sad. Really." The mumbles grew. Alex didn't argue. He let her words hang, her condescension a noose she was tying herself. Back home, he emailed evidence packets to the county, including water samples showing contamination. Replies were slow, bureaucratic molasses. Days blurred into a siege. HOA volunteers patrolled their shoreline, posting signs, "Ironwood property, no unauthorized access." Teens filmed Alex's house, dubbing him Lake Scrooge online. Karen's emails flooded inboxes. "Support our vision against obstructionists." Alex endured the slander, observing. He noticed cracks in the platform's anchors, shoddy work, ignoring buoyancy basics. And that valve. It whispered possibilities. But he waited, building his case, as the HOA's hubris swelled like the polluted water. The tension simmered, ready to boil over in a spectacle of sweet, ironic justice. Sunrise on day 10 brought the climax, a symphony of snaps and groans echoing across the lake. Alex watched from his porch as the platform, overloaded, poorly engineered, tilted precariously. Overnight, he'd activated the old valve, a routine maintenance per logs, dropping the water level just enough to stress the anchors. Legal? Absolutely. Satisfying? Immensely. Screams pierced the air as the structure buckled, pontoons snapping like twigs, dumping debris into the murk. Karen arrived in a panic, mud-splattered, screeching into her phone. "Sabotage! Call the authorities! This is war!" Residents gathered, murmuring. Alex approached calmly. "Looks like nature fought back. Or maybe bad planning." Karen whirled on him. "You did this, you monster, ruining our dream for your selfish bubble." Before he could reply, County Inspector Elena Vargas pulled up, badge gleaming. An old colleague from Alex's engineering days. She'd reviewed his evidence overnight. Hold it, she barked. This lake's private. Deed from 82. Ironclad. The crowd hushed. Karen stammered. But our map. Our vote. Elena held up the glossy fraud. This? Bogus. Wrong everything. You built illegally. Caused pollution. Liabilities on you. As text documented the wreck, snapped cables from load stress. Not cuts. Karen's facade crumbled. But the community. The vision. Elena snorted. Vision doesn't trump law. Cease and desist. Full review incoming. Whispers turned to outrage. We paid for this? She lied. Karen deflated, her authority evaporating like morning mist. Alex said nothing, but inside, the hilarity of her downfall bubbled, her stewardship exposed as petty tyranny. The HOA scrambled, but the damage was done. Their empire of rules toppling in glorious, mud-soaked chaos. In the aftermath, the HOA's lawsuit landed like a wet firecracker. Accusations of sabotage, damages galore. Alex lawyered up with Mia Chun, a land shark who devoured baseless claims for breakfast. They handed us victory on a platter, she grinned, dissecting their fraud. The hearing was a masterclass in irony. Judge Harlan reviewed the deeds. Private property. Case closed. He slammed their map. Forged nonsense. Environmental reports sealed it. HOA's mess. Not Alex's. Karen sat stone-faced as fines piled up. Remediation. Legal fees. Debris removal. The board fractured. Residents rebelled, ousting her in a special vote. Emotional distress? Mia quipped in court. Try the distress you caused with your ego trip. Cleanup crews hauled away the wreckage under watchful eyes, the lake healing as birds returned. Neighbors apologized. We bought the hype. Alex nodded, renaming the lake Serenity Preserve, in his aunt's honor official, untouchable. As peace returned, Alex sipped coffee on his porch, the water whispering vindication. The HOA's greater good had been a punchline, their fall a cathartic roar of laughter through gritted teeth. But here's the question to chew on. In a world of overreaching rules, is it really sabotage if you're just enforcing your own boundaries? Or is the real crime letting entitled busybodies rewrite reality unchecked?